I just wanted to say a few words on Turbomachinery. We know that Ansys CFX is the really advanced turbomachinery code, but what's happening is that a number of different models have been brought across into Fluent, and of course they can be validated really well against CFX. So over past releases, we've seen improvements to the essentially frozen rotor, where you have a rotating zone and a fixed orientation between a rotating and a stationary component. There's been work to bring in improved mixing plane. So that has been happening over the last few releases. And now there's more improvements to that. So when you've got a couple of blades interacting, as you can see in the top right here, and you've got a mixing plane between them, there were some limitations earlier, but now you can really deal with the fact that you might have wall there, that you might have some bleed flow, and there's been various improvements to make the connections between this better. There's a much higher default number of bands, circumferential bands for doing the connections, and updates in the TUI to improve your user experience. So if you want to use mixing planes, there's now additional features there ready to use. The non-equilibrium wet steam model's been improved. Recently, there were improvements to the model in CFX, and these have now been made in Fluent. And you can see that the comparison between the codes and experiments is really good. So that has made a big difference to this model, and it's available and ready to go. There is also a start to bringing in aerodynamics and flutter within Ansys Fluent. So at the moment, this requires you to model the full wheel or a periodic sector. It doesn't have the clever methods that are based on, for example, Fourier series as in CFX, but it's a first release, and you're now able to do some aerodynamic and flutter calculations. And these have been cross-verified against a number of cases in CFX to ensure that Fluent gives the same results. So that's the end of my brief Turbomachinery update. I guess the main point of this is to say that basic Turbomachinery is now very good in Ansys Fluent, and you should be quite happy to use that now. If you want the really, really advanced stuff, you still have to go to CFX, but for 95%, 99% of our users, you can do your Turbomachinery calculations in Fluent.